the small village of Aloma, nestled in the heart of the African savanna, drums were not just instruments, but a way of life. The villagers believed that drums held the power to communicate with the gods, and that the rhythms and beats could appease them, bringing prosperity and protection to the community. The drums were considered sacred, and their sounds were thought to carry the prayers and messages of the people to the divine realm. Every occasion in Aloma was marked with drumming, from births to funerals, from harvest festivals to times of war. The drums were played with skill and passion, their rhythms weaving together the threads of the community's history, culture, and spirituality. The villagers believed that the drums had the power to summon the gods, to invoke their blessings and protection. They believed that the drums could communicate with the ancestors, seeking their guidance and wisdom. The drums were also used for healing, with specific rhythms and beats believed to have the power to cure ailments and drive out evil spirits. In times of conflict, the drums were used to summon the warriors, to rally them for battle and to drive out the enemy. The drums were made from hollowed-out tree trunks, animal hides, and sturdy branches. They were crafted with care and precision, passed down from generation to generation. Each drum had its own unique voice, its own distinct rhythm and beat. The villagers could tell the difference between the drums, and they knew which one to use for which occasion by. The drummers of Aloma were highly respected, considered to be messengers of the gods. They spent years honing their skills, learning the ancient rhythms and beats, and mastering the art of drumming. They were the keepers of the village's history and culture, the guardians of its spiritual traditions. They played with passion and fire, their drums speaking directly to the hearts of the people. In Aloma, drumming was not just a form of entertainment, but a way of life. It was a way of connecting with the divine, with the ancestors, and with each other. The drums were the heartbeat of the community, the pulse that kept it alive and vibrant. In Aloma, a young man called Aku, a talented drummer of 25 years old, had always been fascinated by the drums and their secrets. He spent most of his days practicing, learning new rhythms, and listening to the stories of the village elders. He was especially drawn to the ancient tales of the drum of the gods, a legendary instrument said to have the power to communicate directly with the divine. According to the stories, the drum of the gods was hidden in a far-off land, guarded by powerful spirits and treacherous terrain. Many had attempted to find the drum before, but none had returned. But Aku's life took a dramatic turn when the village elder, Baba Olu, revealed to him that he was chosen by the gods to embark on a quest to find the legendary drum of the gods. Baba Olu, a wise and revered elder, had spent many years studying the ancient arts and consulting with the gods. He had seen something special in Aku, a spark of destiny that set him apart from the others. "Aku, you have been chosen for a great task," Baba Olu said, his eyes shining with a deep wisdom. "The gods have selected you to find the drum of the gods, to bring its power back to our village and to our people. It will not be an easy journey, but I have faith in you. You have the heart of a true drummer and the courage of a warrior." Aku was taken aback by the revelation, but he felt a surge of excitement and purpose. He had always felt a deep connection to the drums, and now he knew why. He was meant for something greater, something that would bring honor to his village and to himself. With Baba Olu's blessing and guidance, Aku set out on his journey, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. He packed his drums and his courage, and bid farewell to his friends and family. The village gathered to see him off, their faces filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation. They knew that Aku was embarking on a dangerous quest, but they also knew that he was the only one who could succeed. Aku embarked on a journey to find the drum and bringing it back to Aloma. But he was not alone in his quest. He was joined by his childhood friend, Igwe, a skilled hunter who had always been by his side. Together, they had explored the forests and savannas around Aloma, learning the ways of the wild and the secrets of the land. Igwe was a strong young man, with a quiet confidence and a sharp mind. He was an expert archer and tracker, able to move silently through the forest and spot prey from a distance. He had always been fascinated by the stories of the drum of the gods, and he saw this quest as a chance to prove himself and bring honor to his family. Together, Aku and Igwe made a formidable team, with Aku's drumming skills and Igwe's hunting prowess making them a force to be reckoned with. As they traveled through the treacherous landscape, they encountered numerous challenges that tested their courage, strength, and determination. They had to cross raging rivers, swollen with rainwater and infested with deadly crocodiles, using makeshift rafts and vines to pull themselves across. They had to climb treacherous mountains, steep and rocky, with paths that were barely visible and winds that threatened to sweep them off their feet. And they had to navigate through dense forests, dark and foreboding, where the trees seemed to close in around them and the underbrush hid unseen dangers. But it wasn't just the natural landscape that posed a threat. They also had to contend with fierce beasts, such as lions and leopards, that roamed the land and saw them as prey. And they had to avoid rival drummers, who sought to claim the drum of the gods for themselves and would stop at nothing to get it. These drummers were ruthless and cunning, using their music to charm and deceive, and Aku and Igwe had to be constantly on guard against their tricks. Despite the challenges, Aku and Igwe pressed on, driven by their determination to find the drum of the gods. They used their skills and ingenuity to overcome every obstacle, from building bridges to crossing rivers to creating makeshift shelters to protect themselves from the elements. And they used their drumming to communicate with each other, to signal danger and to coordinate their movements. As they journeyed deeper into the unknown, they began to realize that the challenges they faced were not just physical, but also spiritual. They had to confront their own fears and doubts, learning to trust each other and themselves, developing a deeper understanding of the natural world and the forces that shaped it, learning to respect and honor the land and its inhabitants, and discovering the true power of the drum of the gods and the secrets it held. But Aku and Igwe persevered, driven by their determination to fulfill their quest and bring prosperity to their village. Along the way, they knew a friend who joined their quest, Amarachi, a wise, strong woman who taught them about the ancient art of drumming. Amarachi was a master drummer, with hands that seemed to dance on the drums and a heart that beat with the rhythm of the land. She shared with them the secrets of the drums, showing them how to listen to the beat of the earth and how to use their drumming to communicate with the spirits. She taught them about the different types of drums, each with its own unique voice and purpose, and how to use them to heal, to protect, and to bring joy. Amarachi, who was also skilled in the ways of the forest. Amarachi been a huntress, with eyes that could spot a deer from a distance and hands that could craft a bow from a single piece of wood. She knew the forest like the back of her hand, and she shared with them its secrets, showing them which plants were edible, which animals were dangerous, and which paths were safe to take. She was fierce and brave, with a heart that beat with the rhythm of the forest, and she quickly became a valuable member of their team. Together, the three of them journeyed on, their drums and bows at the ready, their hearts filled with hope and their spirits buoyed by their newfound friendship. They faced many challenges along the way, but they faced them together, using their combined skills and knowledge to overcome every obstacle. And as they journeyed deeper into the unknown, they began to realize that their quest was not just about finding the drum of the gods, but about discovering the true power of friendship and the magic that happened when people came together in pursuit of a common goal. After many moons, they finally reached the temple where the drum of the gods was hidden. The temple was an imposing structure, with walls that seemed to touch the sky and an entrance that was guarded by two massive stone statues. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and Aku, Igui and Amarachi could feel the power of the drum emanating from within. But as they approached the entrance, they were met by a powerful sorceress who blocked their path. The sorceress was a tall and statuesque woman, with skin as black as coal and eyes that seemed to see right through them. She wore a flowing white robe, adorned with intricate symbols and gemstones, and her hair was a wild tangle of black locks that seemed to move of their own accord. She regarded the four companions with a piercing gaze, her eyes lingering on each of them before speaking in a voice that was both melodious and menacing. "You have come for the drum of the gods," she stated, her voice dripping with an otherworldly authority. "But are you prepared to pay the price? I shall set you 3 tasks, and if you complete them, the drum shall be yours. But if you fail, you shall never leave this temple alive." The sorceress then presented them with her riddles and tasks, each one more challenging than the last. She asked them to retrieve a crystal from the depths of a treacherous cave, to solve a puzzle that seemed impossible to solve, and to retrieve a feather from a bird that only flew at the highest heights. Aku, Igwe and Amarachi knew that they had to work together if they were to succeed, and so they pooled their skills and knowledge to overcome each task. But as they progressed, they realized that the sorceress's challenges were not just physical, but also spiritual, and that they would have to confront their own fear and doubts if they were to emerge victorious. Aku and Igwe were up for the challenge, but as they progressed, they realized that the sorceress's riddles and tasks were not just mere challenges, but a test of their courage, wisdom, and friendship. They had to work together, using all their skills and knowledge to overcome the obstacles. Aku's drumming skills and Igwe hunting prowess proved to be invaluable, as they used their unique abilities to solve the sorceress's puzzles and complete her tasks. Amarachi's wisdom and knowledge of the ancient arts helped them to decipher the sorceress's riddles, along with her agility and quick thinking allowed her to retrieve crucial items from treacherous locations. Together, the 3 companions formed a formidable team, using their combined strengths to overcome every obstacle. In the end, they emerged victorious, but not without scars, both physical and emotional. As they returned to Aloma with the drum of the gods, the villagers celebrated their triumph, hailing them as heroes. The drums beat out a joyful rhythm, and the villagers danced and sang in the streets. But Aku and Igwe knew that their journey was far from over. They had faced their fears and overcome incredible challenges, but they knew that the true test of their friendship and courage was only just beginning. As they walked through the village, they were met with smiles and cheers, but they also saw the scars of their journey. Igwe's arm was still in a sling, and Aku's drumming hand was bandaged. Amarachi's wise eyes seemed to hold a deeper understanding. They had all been changed by their experiences, and they knew that they would never be the same again. But as they approached the village center, they saw something that made their hearts swell with pride. The villagers had built a new drumming circle, one that was bigger and more beautiful than before. And in the center of the circle, they had placed the drum of the gods, its surface gleaming in the sunlight. The drum seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, and Aku and Igwe knew that their journey had been worth it. As Aku approached the drum, he felt a sense of peace. He looked at Igwe, Amarachi and the villagers, and that Aku and Igwe's friendship was the real treasure. The drum was just a symbol of their adventure. They knew they would always have scars from their journey, but they also knew they would always have each other's support. Aku began to drum, the villagers joining in with joy and abandon. Finally, the gods heard his plea. The drumming reached a crescendo, and then suddenly, everything was silent. The gods appeared in their glory gathered in the sky, their voices filled with authority and wisdom. They discussed the fate of Aku and the drum of the gods he had found. Chikwoku, the king of the gods, spoke first, emphasizing the need for caution. The drum of the gods held immense power that could bring chaos and destruction if misused. Aja Elala, the goddess of earth and fertility, added that while Aku had a kind heart, he lacked the knowledge to handle the drum's power responsibly. She warned that allowing Aku to keep seeing the drum would tempt him, without understanding the responsibility it carried. Aja Elala then shared a dire vision of the future, where Aku's innocence would be corrupted by a desire for power once he keeps seeing the drum. The gods became concerned. Mumuo, the ruler of the underworld, warned that allowing Aku to have his sight to see the drum would be a grave mistake. He believed that forces of darkness would exploit his vulnerability, leading to chaos in both mortal and immortal realms. The gods agreed that their duty was to protect the balance of the universe. They concluded that Aku, though virtuous, could not be trusted with the secrets of the drum of the gods. It was decided that Aku must lose his sight never to lay eyes on the enchanting allure of the drum. The villagers wept at Aku's sacrifice, mourning the loss of his sight, but they knew that his bravery and selflessness had saved their community from destruction. They remembered the day he had set out on his quest, full of hope and determination, and they remembered the day he had returned, but his spirit unbroken. They knew that Aku's drums had always been a source of strength and inspiration, but now they took on a new meaning. Every beat, every rhythm, was a reminder of his quest, and the price he had paid to appease the gods. Aku, though blind, continued to drum, his fingers moving deftly over the drumhead, creating complex patterns and rhythms that seemed to come from a place deeper than sight. His drums became a symbol of his sacrifice, a reminder to the villagers of the power of courage and selflessness. And as they listened to his drums, they felt a sense of awe and gratitude, knowing that they had been spared thanks to Aku's bravery. The villagers would often gather around Aku as he drummed, their faces filled with a mix of sadness and joy. They would close their eyes and let the rhythms wash over them, remembering the story of the drummer's quest and the price he had paid. And as they listened, they knew that they would never forget the lessons they had learned from Aku's journey, that true strength comes from within, and that the power of courage and sacrifice can overcome even the greatest challenges.